Good morning, most beautiful souls. Absolutely one of a kind souls, each of you. The one that the divine, the creator of you, says is the most beautiful. And yet, at the same time, he's saying it across the board, simultaneous to everything that he has created, not just humans, but everything. Is just living presence, God's eternal presence. This is a great day to be alive. In fact, I would like to say that this is just another day, not just, but what an opportunity for us to have another day in paradise, my dears. Another day in paradise. Of course, heaven is in your mind, so you have to decide, or you have to even be aware of that this could possibly be true. What if truth is true? Hmm? What if it's so good it's true? Another day in paradise. God's eternal presence is always with us. Why would we be going through this chapter on all the different aspects of God? Have you put two and two together or one and one together? That is just describing that everything is God, everything is eternal God presence. And it's probably a time right now to make a little paradigm shift, okay? Instead of, turning to God when you want to turn to God, maybe look at it from the perspective of God is with you, as you. The divine consciousness is you, and everything beautiful is you. And instead of, like the old way of doing it, reaching for God's hand when you are in need, so to speak, and asking for help or whatever else you do, but why don't you realize that God has your hand all the time? Because he won't let go. He will not let go. You need to cross the bridge. Don't say to God, I'll give you my hand, let's go. No, God says the safest way is that I take your hand because I have your hand. I have you. You are me, and we are forever. And it is the safest way to go about this thing. That's why another day in paradise. I'm so happy for all of us. I'm just so happy. We are going to actually go to this verse, and I read the beginning of it at the end of, yeah, at the end of last week's session. But just to go to verse 30, just for a second, how he ended that thing. Talking about this Lord of the sky. You remember Lord of the sky? Do you remember what creature that is? It's a bird. Do you remember his name, her name, its name? Garuda, Lord of the skies. Do you remember what that means? It means that our soul is ready to fly off from this cage of limitations and believing that this is not another day at paradise, that this is another day to somehow just keep our head above water, if possible, to barely, barely, barely survive the madhouse that's going on right inside of our emotions and right inside of our minds and right inside of all the things that we need to do for Christmas. Whatever it may be for you, right? And that stress adds up and adds up and adds up. But this bird, your soul bird, wants to fly off the Garuda of you. The Lord of the skies wants to get so high on God, wants to get so high on truth, so high on that presence that's with you always, has your hand, has your back, is loving you immensely, incredibly, so much right here, right now. Never looks at why you might look at or how you look at why it's not possible to feel the presence right now because you feel so crappy, right? You feel so guilty. You feel some shame. You know what I'm saying? So what is really cool about this bird that flies off can fly into the free skies of samadhi, can fly into, your soul wants to fly into the free skies of samadhi. What is samadhi? One with the oneness bliss, one with the oneness joy, one with the God presence that we're talking about, one with ecstasy. And you are flying into the free skies of samadhi, but not looking back, not even wanting to return to this madhouse within yourself, right? Because you're just what you see out there is you. It's you. It's a reflection of you. So, but you're not coming back here to so that you're vulnerable to serpentine predators, the forces of delusion. But a liberated soul, which I'm saying is us, soars away from delusion forever and becomes one with God. She and he is compared in this stanza to the lustrous golden bodied Garuda, the Lord of the skies. And here is the subject for our stream this morning: the devourer, the devourer of delusion. Being lifted and lifting yourself up and having God and knowing that God has got you up because you are him, you are her, you are it, you are everything, is to say that you have the power, the God power, because God, there's no delusion in God. God is the ultimate devourer of his own making through Divine Mother. The three gunas, the likes and the dislikes, the good and the bad, everything in between, is the devourer of delusion. So you get high, you win paradise. You can be in paradise today with the thought of your beloved's presence holding your hand and taking you through this labyrinth, so to speak, straight and narrow into your highest happiness today, right? You can consider yourself then as one with the great eternal God presence, a devourer of delusion. But it ain't you. It's never you. You're not the prima donna here. Your soul, one with the divine, is the prima donna. You need to use that word, okay? So I have a little something, just in case you guys I haven't prepared a Christmas list for your soul. I have one here, written some years ago, and I called it the holiday gifts for you. The holiday gifts for you. I think this is a good time to listen to some things that might really, really put you into a state of the highest consciousness and leave you there like a Garuda, not looking back and knowing that this reason for the season is you. You're the reason for the season. What is Christ consciousness but the Christ consciousness in every being, in every rock, everything, right? This is the reason for the season. Now, will you quit passing the buck? Will you quit putting off your eternal destiny and ecstasy? Come on. But here you go, just in case you haven't made your list for the highest happiness and the highest bliss ever in a Christmas season before, okay? Make sure during the holidays, this is the first one is probably the most important one. Make sure during the holidays that you take a holiday from your mind, okay? Number one, take a holiday from your mind. Number two, enjoy some much deserved relief from the grief. Number three, light a cozy fire of self-forgiveness and sip the delicious awareness of compassion. All right, so we clear the slate clean. We bring out our Divine Mother baby wipes, right? And get them out and give them as gifts to others too, without even giving them a gift. No words, no physical things need to be shared. Just wipe their slate clean along with yours. Here's another one. I think number five, sit and sip for a long time in the glow of the light of your perfection. As a child of the infinite, as the one who is one with the one. Here's another one. I won't say how many we have here, okay? Here's another one. The star in the east of your spiritual eye is sparkling with Christ and Krishna unconditional love and friendship. Don't forget to spend some time in your spiritual eye this holy season, huh? Because you're so busy trying to just please others, you know. Is this a human to human affair here? Huh? Are we attempting to try to please others and make it look like we, you know, like we are true friend? You're hardly a true friend to yourself. How can you be a true friend to others, man? Right? But this holiday season is being the true friend to you. Others got their enough on their plate. Trust me, right? God's got them covered. Well, will you quit looking to the human and quit looking to the things that collective consciousness is doing on the outside? Come on. You're your own hero here, and you alone can walk this path. You alone can wake yourself up by allowing God to be your eternal presence and have your hand for forever. Okay? A simple acknowledgement of how much you are loved and appreciated by the Christos can literally wipe clean a year of unworthiness. So I said all these things. I'm just saying what is general consciousness, is collective consciousness. I'm not talking to anyone personal here, right? But I kind of mentioned that this is the time, and the Christos agrees with me, that it is a time to wipe clean a year of unworthiness, right? Obviously, we feel we're unworthy if we're not in the highest state we've ever been in today, and knowing that we are in paradise, and it's to celebrate and dance and sing songs, sing songs that none have sung, think thoughts that ne'er in brain have run, walk in paths that none have tried, walk, weep tears as none have shed for God. Take long walks repeating your favorite heart mantra in the crisp December air of loving presence. Will you have time to take a walk? Or the whole family will walk. You know, I'm not to belittle tradition, but at the same time, I'm saying, what tradition? Don't you think God is the tradition? Don't you think that you cannot be here except for his loving presence? Don't you think he deserves the top quality time of your mind? As the year winds down, the beloved draws ever closer to us. Between the lines of reading these words, here and now, face to face, the beloved is. Here and now, face to face, the beloved is. Snuggle up with your awakening devotion. Is it in your stocking? Is it the main gift you're going to give to yourself? Is awakening devotion? Find every excuse to ridiculously embrace your soul self in between the gaps of everything. Hold love in your heart and kiss her passionately all over. Loneliness will never visit you again. Back off from too many to-dos and use the freed up time to rekindle your ecstatic love affair with love. This is a good stocking stuffer, this list, isn't it? It doesn't take much to help you feel special and wanted again. A few candlelighted dates with purified feelings, soul aspirations, and your beloved heart may be the best gift you've ever given yourself and others. Wrap up with a special care your need to know what the new year is going to bring. Open this self, soul, S capital, gift early. In fact, open the gift of yourself, immortal soul, now, today. It is the gift of living this moment of love fully and completely. In so doing, the future will take care of itself. It is the gift of consummate surrender to the unquenchable love God has for you. Unquenchable surrender or unquenchable love God has for you. It is the gift of consummate surrender. Are these thoughts that are occupying your consciousness right now? Hopefully, because we have right now. It is the gift of believe that you are a daughter of life and a prince of light and a prince of peace. It is the gift of compassion for you. Happy holidays. Yogi Tom. As we turn to our deep dive in the holy scripture of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 31. Page 798, God Talks to Arjuna, Volume 2, commentary by Paramahansa Yogananda. You ready? You ready to hear more about how God's eternal presence is always with you? Is everything? You might feel confused about this section. Why? Why? We're just talking about aspects of not only God, but God is you. So they're aspects of you. And we've said that over and over and over and over again. Can you finally just get it and keep it simple and powerful for yourself and know that God's eternal presence is the whole key to this existence, the only reason we are existing? Can you get that? That doesn't mean that we have time off here and that we can do what we want to do. Again, we think we can pick the times that we ask for God for help. What? What? When his help is just always here. That's a big paradigm shift for this holiday season, isn't it? So among purifiers, verse 31 goes on to say, I am the breeze. Didn't say wind. We already talked about the 28 or 29 kinds of winds that are hovering in the ethers right now, that are moving about. This is the breeze, though. Among wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Among aquatic creatures, we've heard a couple about the aquatic creatures. I am Makara, vehicle of the god of the ocean. All right? Look at all these things that you are, right? Among streams, you're the streams. You are the breeze, my dear. You're a wielder of weapons. You are like Ram, and we're going to hear all about that. You are of the greatest creatures in the ocean. You are all creatures of the ocean. You are everything, everyone God is. So get over it. It's time to really, really make a stand for yourself, capital S. No more excuses. Among streams, rivers, lakes, I am Janavi, the Ganges. Janavi, the Ganges. What a holy river that is. All right, you want to hear Yogananda's comment? The wind, take a guess. Take a guess before I tell you what the wind represents here today. I mean, the wind or air, which is another word for that in Sanskrit, pavana, the air, the wind or the air or the breeze. Take a guess what you think that is. It is the breath of life through which God sustains vegetation, animals, and you and me. It's the breath of life. It's your breath. Your breath. I live in a tunnel of love. 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 When the breath comes in, you love me. When the breath goes out, I love you too. When the breath comes in, the pavana, the air, the breeze of God's breath as he breathed it into our nostrils in the beginning of time. All right? When the breath comes in, you love me. When the breath goes out, I love you too. The breath is my beloved. The breath is my lover. This is why I wrote this song. This is the why I remind you over and over and over again. Not because I'm reminding you, I am reminding myself. But since myself is one with yourself, I'm reminding you too. Will you please not take anything personal anymore? It's not. The only thing personal to take is that God is all around you. God is you. God has your hand. He has your back. He's got your mind. He's got your heart. He's got your life. He's got you everything. Wow. And you know, we can kind of leave him out of Christmas. and the new year and our birthdays. And, this is because of this and then because of that. The wind or air is the breath of life through which God sustains vegetation, animals, and man. His purifying, cleansing, purging breath every moment. You want to hear those words again? As you breathe in, oh, are you breathing? His purifying, cleansing, purging power of breath is manifested in all wind currents active throughout the universe, but is preeminent in the subtle vital air, the breeze or gentle wind that is life-giving, called prana. Prana. We live on prana. We breathe prana. God is most preeminent in the prana that we as humans breathe. The breath is my beloved. The breath is my lover. Let me just kind of rewind and just kind of go through our steps. If some of you remember the steps that we practice, because if we don't step it up, we're going to be down in the dumps this holy season, okay? But the first one is what does the breath say, as Yogananda describes? And his very first technique he teaches people is to just watch the inhale and the exhale and say, as the inhale comes in, hong, which means I am, and sa, as you exhale, he, meaning you're affirming that I am spirit. I am spirit. I am, with every inhale and exhale breath. I am as it comes in. That's the tone, that's the vibration that's in that inhaling bhavana, or that breath of life, that breath of God coming in. I am spirit. Exhale. I am spirit. So we start with that first step. I am spirit. I am spirit. As you focus and do many times that with all your heart and soul, as we practice that first step. When the breath comes in, whether you're doing a kriya, whether you're doing just a nostril breath, whatever breath. But when it comes in, I am. When it goes out, spirit. All right. Then, as we have taught you, in the second step, we have another little piece of breath work, because now you're in the womb of Divine Mother. Completely of my own, I can do nothing. Completely helpless, completely surrendered, completely all hers. It's the same thing as saying that God's eternal presence, that's it. It's his aspect of eternal presence is his consort, Divine Mother. And then the breath comes in, she loves me. As the breath goes out, she loves me more. If you just come back to the basics and do the breathing like that when you do your steps, you might find that you remember the steps, number one, you love to do the steps, number two, and that you are going deeper in the steps every single day. That's what you might discover. She loves me more, right? That's our second step. Then the third step, how do we use our breath? Well, it's the best one. It's kind of my song, Tunnel of Love. Is you love the inhale. The breath is my beloved. The breath is my love. You actually just focus on loving your breath as it's your beloved and lover. As God is your lover and beloved, right? So what do? The breath comes in, you love, you love, you love, you love. The breath goes out, I love you more. I love, I love, I love. Breath comes in, I love my lover. It's my beloved. So you don't let an inhale or an exhale pass without you loving that. And you just make a practice out of that, deeper and deeper. It's the most beautiful way to get into your creative side of the brain. Practice it. And then the fourth one is the most beautiful, because it is as the breath comes in, you love me. As the breath goes out, I love you more, as the song says. So if you just did those with the breath, and then by the time you're in your fish chakra in deep peace, you're almost going breathless. Once you go breathless, you cut the cord that ties your soul to the body, because the breath is the cord that ties your soul to the body, right? So as we slow it down, as we get higher and higher, as we lift up, as we have a Garuda just taken off, and that's it, baby, not turning back, not coming back, staying in God's eternal game plan here, right? Back to the game plan, huh? One with God. What a concept, right? God's eternal presence is always with us. Then breath slows down, and all of a sudden you realize your soul is flying free, the Garuda, once again. So since we're talking about the breeze, especially when we're talking with this next little line by Yogananda, this is page 798. This is verse 31, as I mentioned, when by Kriya Yoga Pranayama, the Kriya technique that some of you have, when by Kriya Yoga Pranayama, the accomplished yogi distills, here's something to remember, distills the life current out of the oxygen. So when we're e, and if you haven't gotten your technique up in the initiation by SRF or Yogananda's organization, which is really directly his initiation on you, so you are blessed always in your practice of the Kriya, might be considering it as another stocking stuffer that is in your stocking right now as a gift of gifts that your soul is giving you. Because we are really distilling the oxygen and converting it into pure prana. Okay, so what happens if you do that? The yogi distills the life current out of the oxygen in the human breath and uses this pure prana to do what? Recharge the body. He unites his life with cosmic life, cosmic energy, radiant health, fountain of youth. O eternal youth of body and mind, abide within me forever. All my cells are shiny and bright, dancing in the light, But as Yogananda says in his prayer before recharging the body with cosmic energy, he says, it is thou who dost directly sustain my body. Awaken within me conscious will, conscious health, conscious vitality, conscious realization. Oh, eternal youth of body and mind, abide within me forever and forever. Have you forgotten that you might want to put in part of your list in your stocking today, right after this stream, that you are a fountain of youth. You are, I am eternal youth of body and mind. I cannot be diseased. I cannot even feel pain. I am that I am, and I'm all that I am. I am you, beloved, and you are all. So this pure prana recharges the body, unites our life with the cosmic energy. Breath mastery through pranayama or life force control is not only the best means of drawing on cosmic energy to sustain life. You want to hear another benefit? If you need benefits, if you need to know what are the other benefits here, it not only means the drawing in of cosmic energy to sustain life in the physical body, but also the highest method of obtaining liberation. I'm telling you from the very get-go, I talked about breath and the remembrance of breath and the affirmations that go along with the breath, as I briefly mentioned this morning. It brings your mind back. It brings your heart back. But you've got to practice it. You can't have big gaps. I mean, are you going to forget that you are sustained directly? It is thou who dost directly sustain my body. Are we going to forget that? Are we going to forget that? Right? For gaps of time, that is what is bringing us down. Forgetfulness, right? So remember breath, remember breath. Remember, it's your lover, it's your beloved. Remember breath. It is the way that we are handing over from us saying, oh Lord, here, I got your hand. I'm going to bring you through this. You're going to help me through this, to remembering breath constantly, and then you realize that God is your breath, that God is you, that He is this eternal presence that has you covered from toes to the top of your head, inside and out. Wow. Life control produces control of the breath, the cord that ties the soul to the body, and breathlessness in the samadhi state produces God consciousness. And we can say God awareness, God's eternal presence is with us always. This is going to be pretty relevant coming up here in these final things that God is that this eternal God presence, reminding us over and eternal God presence, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, right here, right now. How? With this breath. And you're returning the love affair by giving your love back on the exhale breath and remembering. Okay? It's as simple as all of this, my dears. This is not complicated. This isn't one of those things, well, I don't understand this. What do you say to yourself? I totally understand this. I totally hear you, Lord. I totally am living only for today to be in paradise, in ecstasy with you. And then we'll see how I handle, through your grace, how you are going to handle these Christmas days, how you are going to handle all the people who I think I need to handle. I don't say it that way, but I need to kind of, be there for them, right? As they are for me, because we're family. Look at it any way you want, but you only have one family, and you can only walk it alone too. And that is the divine family. And that is the only purpose that we have, a regular family. Regular family is there to teach us course number one, basic course in learning how to live for others. Beautiful, right? But you don't stop there. That's just the first course. Then we start taking it out to feeling that everyone is our sibling and our brother and our sister. Let's live today like there's no tomorrow. Let's love everyone like a brother. Let's live today like there's no tomorrow. Let's love everyone like a sister. Come on, let's love everyone. Come on, let's love everyone. Just like a brother and sister. Just like a brother and sister. Just like a brother and sister. We need to kind of go to the next grade, don't you think? Aren't you ready for the next grade of higher consciousness? Because every time you do, you are that Garuda who decides that I am just going for that high state of consciousness where I belong. My home is in infinite consciousness. Why aren't we just totally 100% focusing on these powerful, everyday reminding truths that only we can remind ourselves of? So all of that, life control produces control of the breath, controlling your life, controlling where your mind goes, controlling how you put all these dates on your calendar, controlling all the other things. But if that's out of control, there is no life force control if there isn't the breath awareness. Because the breath is the cord that ties the soul to the body. If we're not remembering breath to calm us down until there is very little breath, and we're distilling that oxygen because of that, moving out all the impurities in our toxic blood, the red blood, and getting the pure prana from this, we'll never understand anything about what the spiritual path is truly all about. Life force control, breath control. So we can then go into the breathless state, go breathlessness in the samadhi state, which then produces God consciousness. So that's the wind or air. Among purifiers, I am the breeze. That's what that means. Can you imagine trying to figure this out on your own? We get a little help here, don't we? So let's look at Rama. So let's look among wielders of weapons. I am Rama. Rama, revered as an avatar, an incarnation of Vishnu, was a great and noble king of ancient India. Ram, Ram, Sita, Ram, Sita, Hare, Hare. Yeah, you hear Ram's name as much as almost you do Hare Krishna, right? Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Sita, Ram, Radhe Krishna, right? So Rama, revered as an avatar, an incarnation of Vishnu, was a great and noble king of ancient India. Be aware of your breath here, folks, because your mind might still be in that wrong gear of listening to this and then getting like kind of, we have this subconscious bad habit of then kind of just kind of, you know, we kind of leave the place. We kind of zone out, we kind of zone out when we're here to zone in to God's eternal presence that's helping us here right now, that's breathing us right now, that's giving us life force to move this body today, that's giving us all the amazing graces too today, that we can still kind of maybe be more or less not filled with total pain, right, and grief and remorse and all that we have a little bit of hope, meaning HOPE, heart open, please enter, as they say. They say acronym in AA. So I wasn't wrong all those years saying, here's the acronym, when there's no word you can find. It's like you don't find it in the dictionary. When AA, they call it an acronym, which is also an acronym, all right? So hope, heart open, please enter. Beautiful, 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 beautiful word for this holy season. Heart open, Lord. I am open and ready to receive. I am opening, I'm ready to receive. Beloved, 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 right? Okay, but listen, it is said that throughout his reign, Rama's reign, as a great and noble king of ancient India, throughout his reign, no death or disease touched his kingdom. Of great righteousness, he possessed divine weapons by which he was conqueror of all evil enemies. This is going to get very, very, inward driven now, when you talk about kingdoms, it's our kingdom, and we have our evil enemies of, all those bad habits that we just refuse to address in this life. Yeah, I got that. Well, I'll go to Divine Mother and pray for forgiveness. Okay, that's great. But come on, get over the bad habit. The secret of happiness is to stop doing the things that make you unhappy. And you're going to learn all about how that power is given to us as free choice, as a key ingredient to our happiness and liberation, our free choice. Coming up, it's one of the aspects of God, free choice. He possessed divine weapons by which he was conqueror of all evil enemies. Among wielders of weapons, the greatest, as was Rama. Okay, so what is Rama going to mean to us if it's the greatest of weapons? Another devourer of delusion is the vanquisher. So among wielders of weapons, the greatest, as was Rama, is the vanquisher. It's a vanquisher. That's another word for a devourer of one's inner enemies of delusion. Another vanquisher of delusion. We talked about the devourer of delusion earlier. But why is Rama represented here? That's someone that we can remember. What does this practically mean to us? using the bow of calmness, the bow of calmness, with its taut bowstring of a straight spine in meditation. Lovely, lovely Rita Meter Maid, right? Lovely. This is the season for meditation, by the way. This is the season. And you are the reason for the season. So sit, become, your breath is my beloved, the breath is my lover. Get really loving your breath like you've never loved it. And you're going to see that you have, and check out your straight spine, the taut bowstring of a straight spine, a bow of calmness, man and woman, a taut bowstring of a straight spine in meditation, fitted with unerring arrows of self-control. Here we go again. When we're forgetful that this is a day in paradise because God's presence is all over us and everything and everyone, how can it not be a day in paradise? If we forget that and we go scurrying about, not even a creature, not even a mouse, but we could be little mouses scurrying around. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, dear ones? Oh, maybe you've had enough of me already today. Ha! Hoo-hoo! Okay. But these arrows of self-control, just like life force control, there are arrows to devour the delusion within us, to devour our own self-made enemies, self-created enemies. Wow. Of self-control and concentration. No, please. Not hearing anything. Come on. All right. Are you still with me? I'm getting all these notes from from the program Zoom right now, which I'm totally not interested in at all. All right. So that is Rama. You got it? The bow of meditation, the taut bowstring of a straight spine in meditation, and fitted with unerring arrows of self-control and concentration. Very happy holy days, my dears. Happy holidays. Let's look at the sea creature, the mythical sea creature, Makara. I am Makara, vehicle of the god of the ocean. This is good too, another devourer. Makara is a mythical sea creature, the vehicle of Varuna, or god of the ocean. Makara is sometimes referred to as a shark, the undisputed mightiest of fishes. This mythical creature is an emblem of the standard of Kamadeva, desire. Desire. Showing desire's deference. I do believe deference is kind of like a sweet surrender to this higher power. Showing this desire we have is really, really wanting to desire truth. It really is, but we have completely gotten off mark on that one. So we're desiring all the little playthings, all the little fake jewelries, all the little fake cheap thrills, we can say, right? But anyway, this mythical creature is an emblem on the standard of Kamadeva, desire, showing desire's deference to this higher power. The spiritual significance is that the presence of God, this is so important, the presence of God inherent in man and woman's consciousness. The real significance, the spiritual significance of this kama, desire, showing desire's deference or its willingness to surrender to this higher power. This spiritual significance is that the presence of God inherent in man's consciousness. Why do we want to elevate? Why do we want to meditate to elevate? Why do we want to remember the truth constantly? Why do we want to always, always be in a love affair with breath? so that we can have not only life force control, but self-control. That's one of the arrows, right? And deep focus that isn't gyrating back and forth, right? Thoughts coming in and whatever. Just right on the target, man. Right on. This is paradise. I am in paradise with my only true love, the divine beloved, as I get focused in by using all these tools or all these God reminders of God Himself as the tools, and God is the one that's doing this through me through these tools that God is giving us. Take His hand, take it, take it, let Him hold you. He will not let go. So the presence of God inherent in each of our consciousnesses becomes active. How does it become active? When we lift, because otherwise we're asleep, right? The windows to all spiritual possibilities are closed with curtains, with blackout curtains. The presence of God inherent in man's consciousness becomes active in the ocean of samadhi meditation. That is God oneness, God consciousness meditation as a divine, and once it's activated, when we lift up, my dears, that God that's who is in us, it gets activated when we lift up to Him. He ain't coming down here. He ain't in this world. He's not. We are contained in Him in this world. God is not contained in this world. He is contained in the infinite, formless, unmanifested bliss. That's where He is, and He wants us to join Him. That's where the party is. That the presence of God becomes active. So we need to lift. We need to lift. No more forgetfulness. This is non negotiable now. We got to go back to our steps, as I mentioned over and over again. We've got to see, why am I doing it? Am I doing it because I'm told to do it? Am I doing it because it's something that is part of this program, but I'm not getting anything out of it? What is that? That's got to get burned up this holy season. There's got to be a passion in your purpose, my dear, and a purpose of passion in whatever you do spiritually. It's got to be your total focus, your total center, your 100% God desire, right? Your heart's desire. Because we need to lift, and lifting means samadhi consciousness, whatever relative that is to where you can lift to. But as long as you're lifting, you're going to be a lot better off. But if you really lift, then as a divine, this consciousness becomes God in you as the consciousness and dwelling in you. It becomes a divine predator devouring all little fishes of the devotee's earthly desires. Another devourer of all the, it becomes, did you hear that? A divine predator devouring all little fishes of each one of our earthly desires still. A divine predator. Makara is going to be another divine predator. This is why I call it devourer of delusion, this dream. It can also be called, but I'll call it coming up here, God's eternal presence. God's eternal presence. God's eternal presence. That's all there is. It's God's eternal presence as everything, everyone, all the time. So let's just see what Ganges has to tell us, right? We're on a roll. We're going to finish probably for the first time a verse that had 4 spectacular aspects of God that are also how He uses those God tools in us if we are receptive, if we want to pay attention to what is important, right? First things first, get out of your head. First things first, get into your heart and trust this God's eternal consciousness. Because I mentioned the Kriya Yoga and initiation by Paramahansa Yogananda. Well, here's a little song that they sing to him. Think ye in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think ye in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity. He shames the white lotus, the Guru. He's so pure. Shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all dualities. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver me. Image of Creator, deliver me from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver me from delusion. Think ye in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru, who is also a divine predator, who is also the one that is going to have your hand and have your back. He is that one that has your hand and has your back. The Guru, right? Image of Brahma, shaming the white lotus impurity. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you just maybe consider it, and want that hand that's reaching down to pull you up, rather than you deciding when, hey, oh Lord, right? Don't leave it up to you. It's his call. It's God's call. He'll deliver you from delusion. Devour is divine predator, man. Devour all your desires, all your fears, all your phobias, all your anxiety, all the lack of trust, all the frumpiness of still allowing yourself to be so doggone human. All right? So let's see about this. I am Janavi. Janavi, the Ganges. Janavi, the Ganges, spelled Jahnavi. Janavi, the Ganges. What does it represent? This goes right along with where we're at today. Yes, it does. The Ganges is revered as the holiest of rivers, blessed by God through the vibrations of the many liberated saints who has bathed in her waters and meditated on her banks. You know, that's how you create sacred space. Outside yourself, you just have pilgrimages there. You go there, people, you know, by the hundreds, not thousands, go there and worship there. So it becomes sacred. That's what we have to do with this temple. That's why we have to learn to feel that we are the most sacred, that we walk, as Black Help says, on this sacred land, this sacred earth. So therefore, every footstep needs to be a prayer. That's why Hafiz says, there I bow my head at the feet of every creature, this constant submission of kissing God all over. Someday every lover will do. So symbolically, the Ganges represents, excuse me, the ever flowing intuitive wisdom. Wow, ever flowing. That means it flows. It's flowing in the wisdom like it does through in all these streams that we have, right? It just flows in. The wisdom flows in because all we know is that we need you, Lord. We need you. We're hungry for you. We're thirsty for you, and we're ready to receive. We're opening like little lotus flowers. We're ready to receive. And then God says, okay, well, be loved. Beloved, be loved. Be loved then. Be loved. Let me have your hand. Because if you give me your hand, you're going to let go again. So let's go with what is eternal, what is permanent, what is unchanging, and that is me. And of course, the consciousness that goes with that me, the divine consciousness. So symbolically, the Ganges, this river, the holiest of rivers, this most sacred consciousness we can have on life, becomes an ever-flowing intuitive wisdom, ever-flowing. Don't you love that? So your brain is just always downloading the wisdom from your soul, from your heart, all of them purified and just solid. Can you imagine how high you'd be? Because you love wisdom, you love the truth more than anything else, you love the goodness and you love the love. That's what makes the soul great, and you are that great soul. So let's be who we're meant to be, all right? And not mess around any time of year for any reason, whatever anyone ever says, whatever the calendar says. And we already know that that's a delusion. And whatever others say, right? We make the call now. We make the call. We've made the call ever since we had ability to make a call. All right. But we haven't made many good ones or constant ones like it's talking here. We have made a mess. We have a karmic debt to pay that's huge. You see what we're saying? That's why we're still in a frumpy mortal state. It's our karma. Oh, so we got to turn the tide, man, so that we can start flowing in some wisdom, and then let it be the river Ganges just flowing, oh, so holy, and the ever flowing intuitive wisdom that makes you so high because you love to stay high. When you stay high, the evil cannot come up to that vibration. That's why the high is the devourer of delusion. God consciousness, God awareness, God love is the devourer of all delusion. So the Ganges represents the ever-flowing intuitive wisdom in the liberated yogi. It also represents the taintless Sushumna life current, where we are still trying to get that Kula Kundalini awake at the root, right? So she can start to come up the chakras. So this river represents her waking up the taintless Sushumna life current, which flows through the astral spine from the coccyx. So we got to wake her up at that coccyx where usually the Kundalini sleeps, but now we have to wake her up so that she can flow from the coccyx to the 1,000-petal lotus in the brain. Flow on up, baby, right? We're going upstream. That's the only way we're ever going to grow spiritual muscles. We're going to go against the stream. We're going upstream. Stream's coming this way, we're going up against it. Through the Kundalini, talk about life control and breath control and mind control and heart control, right? We're totally that control as a soul. From the coccyx to the 1,000-petal lotus in the brain, the life force and soul perception of the yogi, the life force, that's all tied together. The self-control, the life control, and the soul perception of the yogi is carried on this river to life away from bodily material entanglements to the shores of blessedness in spirit. It's like the Garuda, right? It's like just soaring just in the friendly skies of God's eternal presence, where it's clear, all clear, dear, exactly that we are in paradise, exactly in paradise. When we lift, when we allow this constant river of ever flowing intuitive wisdom to come into our heart, we are opening, we're ready to receive. Oh, breath is my beloved. Breath, you are my love. When the breath comes in, you love me. When the breath comes out, I love you more, right? Wherever you are in the steps, there is a breath, except when we're getting into the higher steps and it's really slowing down from the ether up, really slowing down. And before you know it, God touches you. And all you are in is a state of ecstasy in the truth. No thought about anything else, no desire for anything else, but deeper and deeper in the ecstasy of oneness with the bliss that you are experiencing. Yeah, that's it. And then you the cord is tied, no more physical breathing, done deal. You're home. We are home at last for Christmas. Believe it or not, kids, that finishes the stream 31, or the verse 31 today. Those four incredible aspects where we started with the wind, the breath, and then we went to Rama, that bow, that taut bowstring of a straight spine with the unerring arrows of self-control and concentration. Don't you love it? And finally, with the river Ganges, Jahnavi, the ever-flowing intuitive wisdom, conscious self-awareness, constant wakefulness, conscious wisdom coming in. There's no room for anything else. Let me just give you a little nugget or two from what I've been posting for my own verification. All the inspirations that I keep on my phone because that's all I want to put into my head. You know what I'm saying? Okay, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Why are you doing this to me? Come on. Come on. Oh, I know. I know. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Now I get it. Yeah. All right. This is a beautiful quote that I put up on my Facebook page. Unknown source. It says, spoiler alert. The last variant will be called mass awakening, and it will spread like wildfire. Make that your hope for our world this holy season. The mass awakening, and it's going to spread like wildfire. This is from Patanjali, the one who gave us those 8 steps. The soul does not love, it is love. It does not exist because it is existence itself. It does not know because it is wisdom itself. The secret to living well and longer is eat half, walk double, laugh triple, and love without measure. Huh? Nice way to end our stream, isn't it? Yoganandaji says this. Your trials do not come to punish you. You having a tough time of it? Of course we are. Of course we are. Everyone is. But those trials and troubles don't come to punish us, but to awaken us. To make us realize that we are part of spirit. And that just behind the sparks of our life is the flame of infinity. Paramahansa Yogananda. Think ye of think ye in thy heart. Think in thy heart. Lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, just in case. Shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality, Guru image of creator, Brahma, deliver us from delusion. And I think I have one more quote, everybody. Come on. No. And this is a good one for the Christ consciousness. This is again from Yogananda. Let's close our eyes. Feel deeply. Feel deeply. Oh, love that breath as she comes in. Love her more as she goes out. Or she loves me more. Breath in, she loves me more. Breath out. Or I am spirit. I am spirit. As you love me, I love you more. So you be busy doing that, and I'll read you this final thought for the real meaning of Christmas. Just as your consciousness, this is from Paramahansa Yogananda, just as your consciousness pervades your whole body, the consciousness of Christ is equally present throughout the cosmos, in every tree, and plant, in every bird and animal, in all human beings. Discover the one who is hiding behind this creation. Reserve time each day to get away from the world and be with God. Just as we are aware of everything in this body, so is the Christ consciousness that we have total destiny to be and are Christ center, spiritual eye center. We too, one day, just like feeling that this whole world is going to have a mass awakening, take that same intuitive imagination and intuitive wisdom and the truth, which it is, because everyone will have mass awakening one day, that we also are going to feel equally present throughout this cosmos, in every tree and plant, in every bird and animal, in all human beings, the consciousness that we are born with, that we are awakening to, the Christ and Krishna consciousness, which then leads us to cosmic consciousness, which is the eternal, of God's eternal presence. What a gift it is to be with all of you today. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for going on this journey into the truth, this journey into the atom. I love that ride at Disneyland. I don't think they have it. This journey into total awakening of yourself. And yourself is all selves, all selves. So the mass awakening is happening. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Ah. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and lifetime in paradise while in a body. And then, of course, with no body, there's no question about paradise. Namaste.